Good morning, SDA Academy. Welcome, juniors, to another week of your online learning. So what we have in store for this week, we've got a quick recap as to what we spoke about last week. Our 3 questions for today: what is speed? Why do we need speed for our sport? And how can we improve our speed? At the end, we're just going to mention what we require from you guys to do for us for next week. So just a quick recap. Our first question that we had to answer was, what is strength? Now remember, strength is the amount of force produced by your neuromuscular system. Now if you can remember, our neuromuscular system is the way that the brain communicates with our spinal cord, which then communicates with our muscle. Okay, so that means if there are good connections, there's good communication, there'll be a good force production. And if there's good force production, that means we've got a lot of strength, right? So the more neurons that talk to the muscle, the stronger that muscle can be. Our second question is, why is strength important for our sport? So remember, we spoke about it was protection for your skeleton, your skeletal, okay? Musculoskeletal, so the muscles around the skeleton, it's a lot of protection for that, okay? The muscle gets nice and strong, it protects the muscle. We reduce the amount of injuries that could possibly happen, and we have our sporting demands. So some of our sports will require some sort of strength within that sport. Number 3 is, how can we improve our strength? Super easy. We go through specific training. We progressively overload it, which means we make it more difficult. Okay. We do consistent strength-based programming. And most importantly, we recover from our programming. So this week, we start off with, what is speed? So in scientific terms, speed can be defined as your distance divided by your time. So what it means is that the faster you can cover a certain amount of distance, the higher the speed is. Okay? Now when we're thinking about this term in sport, it is the person's ability to move rapidly on the ground, so like sprinting, okay, or being able to move a limb, so a body part, rapidly to grab something or to throw something. So if you were a baseball player or a cricket player, you need that speed within the upper body to bowl or to throw really fast. It's a component of your speed. Okay. Question number 2. Why do we need speed for our sport? So one thing that I like to say is that the fastest person, is always the first person to either get to the finish line, or to get to the ball first. Okay, does that make sense? So that, when you are the first person to get to a certain object, or to get the ball first, or cross the finish line first, okay, you have to be the fastest. Another one that we need to look at is your risk of injury decreases, especially when you're traveling at what we call max speed or your maximum velocity. Okay, so we need to be able to have the body endure or go through these processes and be comfortable at max velocity or at max speed in order for us to ensure that no injuries, or there is a limit to the amount of injuries that can occur. Okay. Number 3 there is repeated sprint ability, or another word could be speed endurance. So how many times can you go from your standstill to max speed and back down again, and then repeat that process as much as possible? Okay, so instead of only being able to do 1 or 2 sprints, you are able to do 5 sprints at the same speed you were able to do sprint number 1 at. Okay. And then the last one is, if you are able to have a good maximum speed, chances are you can have a good acceleration. So you can improve your acceleration by improving your speed. Okay, and that's very, very key in sport as well. Accelerating from point A to get to as fast as you possibly need to get in order to get somewhere first. So, last question is, how can we improve our speed? Okay, so it's pretty much exactly the same as what we think for strength and what we think for endurance and what we think for what we call hypertrophy training or power training. Okay, we've always got to go through some specific training. So we're always working on our correct muscle fibers or our correct energy systems. Okay, we always progressively overloading. So we're always trying to find ways as to how we can make it a little bit more challenging, make it a bit more difficult. Okay, in order to make sure that we keep improving. Then we got to consistently work. Okay, we got to stick to the correct training programs. We got to continuously work on our speed components. Okay, got to make sure that we keep working on the program that has been given to us by our coaches. And then again, very important is our recovery. We need to have good nutrition. We need to have a great amount of sleep. We need to be able to mobilize. Okay, so remember our foam rolling, our stretching, and we need to hydrate. So we need to drink our waters or our electrolytes. Okay. Now, for next week, what I want you guys to do is research and answer the following questions. What is the energy system that we use in speed training? What are the muscle fibers we use in speed training? And then the last bit is our practical session. I'm going to send through a workout that I want you guys to do, and I want you guys to complete that and fill that out. Have a great weekend, guys, and good luck.